Hello, I'm Coercer, and we will begin watching games from ArtifactCup number 26. Sinistro has just posted the replay packs on the Homeworld Discord server, and I couldn't wait to cast these games, so let's just jump in to the first matchup. We will be looking at the games between Noneyadambus and Harambe. Now, let's see. Yes, this is the right one. The first game between these two players will be played on Coercer, and we will watch this from Noneyadambus's perspective, and Harambe is playing random, while Noneyadambus is playing coalition. So this could be quite interesting. We could have a mirror matchup, we could have something like Knaf versus Coalition. I guess we'll see as soon as we load into the game. Now, I think I mentioned this every time, but Coercer is probably my least favorite map to play on. And we're off center. So let's reveal all. Protection. So, Noneyadambus is playing as the coalition forces down in the south, and Harambe has spawned in the north as the Soban. The Soban and the coalition are quite similar, but there are two major differences. Firstly, the Soban carrier is not as useful in combat as the coalition carrier, and the Soban railguns are basically a better version of the coalition railguns, as long as they get enough time to get off all of their shots. Now, another difference, which I've forgotten, is that the Soban have these armed logistics modules, which they can activate by putting power into defensive logistics on the carrier, and these armed logistics modules deal some damage to anything that comes into range and stuns those units in place for a short duration, so those can come in quite useful. Both players are focusing on their resourcing. Harambe building a support cruiser, while Noneyadambus is pumping out salvagers to start mining from this bulkhead. Basically his first expansion. Noneyadambus is researching base runner inventory, which means that any base runner that he constructs will immediately have these two skills available. One is deploy turret, which he has done here. He has deployed a turret post, which targets ground units, and then there is the anti-air turret, which of course targets air. Harambe has started by picking up the first artifact with his base runner, while Noneyadambus is for now just hanging out in his own base, and this support cruiser is now just hanging out. Harambe's support cruiser is now just hanging out at the bulkhead, waiting for the salvagers to arrive, so the mining operation can begin there. Harambe is sending his base runner to the wrong extraction zone, I believe. Yes, so hopefully he'll notice that soon and reroute that base runner to his extraction zone. Noneyadambus has constructed a support cruiser. Now he just needs to move it in to that bulkhead, so the salvagers can stop long hauling those resources. Noneyadambus seems very focused on his base runners. He is placing turrets in his base, but there is basically no aggression coming from either player. Harambe has just noticed, I think, yes, he has just noticed that that was the wrong extraction zone. He's now moving his base around it, and he has also teched up to gunship tech, and that gunship can potentially take out all of these salvagers, especially since the only AA right now for Noneyadambus are these base runners. The gunship is very tanky. 3 salvagers taken out by the gunship. Now it's focusing down the other group, and it doesn't quite manage to get all of the salvagers from Noneyadambus, and the gunship has to return to rearm. Now that was quite a good raid. Now Noneyadambus should focus on getting these salvagers back on these resources, since that will pay off for him quicker than opening this bulkhead and then long hauling from that location. He could have just pulled those salvagers back to his main and immediately start mining again. And the support cruiser is still hanging out next to the base runners and next to the turret posts, which is a bit of a waste. I mean, it could be right here and also shorten the path these salvagers have to take. Harambe is now scouting with the probe, trying to see what Noneyadambus is up to, and it seems that Noneyadambus is a bit distracted. He didn't open this bulkhead, so these salvagers are now just sitting there waiting for something to happen. Meanwhile, he has these 2 piles of resources that are not being mined from, and that will cost him quite dearly. Of course, the support cruiser is now outfitted with anti-air capabilities, which would prevent any more raiding parties coming in, at least gunship raiding parties, and Harambe is starting to pump out the Soban railguns. Now if he could just pile up enough of them, he should be able to brute force his way through anything Noni can throw at him. The gunship comes out again. Let's see where its next targets will be. I assume he will target that bulkhead. And the support cruiser immediately launches a volley of anti-air fire, and the gunship meets its demise and crashes into the sands. Oh, that could have gone better, but at least Harambe got some information out of that. He now knows that Noneyadambus spent resources to upgrade his support cruiser. He saw that there are pretty much only base runners and static defenses on the field, and he is now going to Harambe is now going to capture his second artifact.
Salvager online.
And pretty much secure his lead. Both players are being very passive at the moment. Let's see. I'm going to speed this up a bit, so we'll see what develops. Harambe building some light attack vehicles. Base runners of Harambe are active and out on the map, and it seems that Noneyadambus is now finally moving out with his base runners. But Harambe has 3 base runners out on the field, and he is just picking up all the artifacts as they spawn. Noneyadambus finally pumping out some AAVs to maybe put some pressure on Harambe, and he is focusing on the base runners, trying to catch them before they can deliver those artifacts. Let's see. Yeah, that single AV will take quite a while to take down that base runner. Noneyadambus is placing down more static defenses to defend his base.
Research completed.
But as of right now, it seems to be a bit of a waste. There's nothing going on to defend from, basically. The base runner being attacked by both AoEs, and it should go down before it reaches that extraction zone. We'll see. Maybe it will just squeeze through and capture that artifact. The railguns now moving out. Ooh. And Harambe loses that base runner with the artifact just as it reaches the circle, but Harambe's railguns should peek around the corner now and maybe be able to take a few pot shots at these AAVs before they move too far across the map. Noneyadambus building another support cruiser, which would ordinarily be a good idea, but he still didn't rebuild salvagers to mine from these resources, and there's even an idle salvager right here, not mining from this location. So his entire mining operation right now is not as efficient as it could be, while Harambe is now mining from all of his bulkheads, and he is pumping out more units. The AoEs are blocking that base runner from going in. Now these turrets dealing quite a bit of damage to that base runner. It goes down almost immediately. The Soban railguns are now opening fire on the AoEs and should take them out easily. Harambe throws out a targeting gemma to prevent the AoE from firing. That base runner dies to the turret post of Noneyadambus, but now those railguns are going to make short work of the post and probably the base runner if they decide to chase it down. But the railguns stay put. Let's see what Harambe has been up to. He's researched assault cruiser tech and has produced 2 assault cruisers. They are probably going to sneak around this side of the map and then move into Noneyadambus' main, which is well defended, but there are no units on the field for Noneyadambus, and that should spell his doom. Let's speed this up again and see what happens. Noneyadambus being very passive. Harambe is now just producing railguns. Assault cruisers now moving in. Let's see how this will go. It seems that assault cruiser is just hanging out just outside of range. And now the assault cruisers are starting their attack. Third posts are quite good against assault cruisers. They deal a lot of damage to them. And that combined with Noneyadambus' powered up carrier forces these 2 assault cruisers to back off. Noneyadambus has research power reserve 3, so at least his carrier could defend his position, but once these Soban railguns move in to support the assault cruisers, I'm pretty sure his carrier will go down quickly, even if he has a railgun of his own on the field, but 1 railgun won't be able to stop the advance of all of these units. Good thinking here, sending out that probe from the base runner to provide vision for the railgun, but this force should now just plow through whatever Noneyadambus has ready. He just needs more units on the field. Now these 2 base runners will probably die to those Subani railguns. Let's just look at what will happen here. Subani railguns take down that railgun. without problem. So Harambe is now on the attack. He has brought his carrier with him, but I'm pretty sure he doesn't need that for these engagements. Let's see what Noneyadambus will do. He has constructed strike fighters in the meantime. That should be quite a good investment, since Harambe has no anti-air and all of those railguns are now massed up in a clump, and the strike fighters with their AoE attacks should take them out quite quickly. But he switches targets to the assault cruiser, which means that he will take it out, but he should probably just have focused those railguns. Harambe launches the microwave emitter. That is the super weapon of the Soban. It basically just emits a field that causes damage to anything in it, and it slowly damages units and structures that stay in that area of effect. Noneyadambus is slowly taking out the assault cruiser of Harambe. But I do feel that the better thing to do would be to just take out these assault railguns, which he is doing now, but he could have done that much earlier and then maybe focus down the assault cruiser. Harambe is now just waiting. He might think that Noneyadambus maybe has a large force waiting for him, but he could probably just move in with his force and start dealing damage to Noneyadambus' carrier. Oh, these two base runners. I see. The railguns were behind the hill and couldn't fire on the base runners. Harambe is up 3-0. Both players being very passive. Noneyadambus slowly picking off these armed logistics modules. So Harambe can have a safe zone where he can camp out with those railguns. Now he's finally starting to deal damage to Noneyadambus' carrier. If he will use the mark target ability and mark the carrier, he should be able to take it down quite quickly. But the strike fighters have now come out in force, and they're taking out all of these clumped railguns with ease. The anti-air turret post and missile battery of Harambe are taking out all of these strike fighters without much trouble. And he really, Noneyadambus should really pull them back, because he's just losing them over nothing right now. Even a gunship out for Noneyadambus, but that also goes down quite quickly to all of the anti-air fire from Harambe. Harambe is now using a armed logistics module to provide vision, and his Harambe's railguns can now fire on the carrier. Noneyadambus, another microwave emitter going down to deal damage to Noneyadambus' carrier and support cruiser, and this time Noneyadambus is going to move out of the area of effect to minimize the damage. He's now at 45% carrier health, and it's dropping quite quickly, also thanks to these railguns firing at it. Nothing much else going on. These two base runners and turrets are still alive and not doing much else at the moment. Noneyadambus researching power reserve 4, which, considering the situation, is probably not that bad of an idea, but those railguns are just taking pot shots at his carrier, and if he doesn't move out of range or pump up his reactive armor system, he's going to get killed. The support cruiser is now moving in to begin repairing Noneyadambus' carrier, and Harambe seems content to just deal damage to Noneyadambus' carrier slowly with these very low health railguns and basically only the armed logistics modules. Finally more railguns coming out from Harambe, which will accelerate this process neatly, as long as they have a sightline on Noneyadambus' carrier. And now if Harambe moves into this clump of turret posts, that could slow him down. Of course the carrier can take quite a beating, because those turret posts aren't really designed to deal with it. A single strike fighter now trying to deal damage to Harambe's carrier. That is simply not enough, especially with these railguns now moving in to try and destroy the support cruisers and prevent Noneyadambus from healing up his carrier. Both players taking this very slowly. Let's speed this up again and see what happens. There you go. Harambe is still not constructing as many railguns as he could, and just sitting there waiting for Noneyadambus to take out what little railguns he did have. Nothing else going on the map. And now Noneyadambus is moving in on Harambe's carrier, damaging it with everything he's got. Noneyadambus has pumped up his turret network and is now quite handily dealing damage to Harambe's carrier, and the Soban carrier really isn't good in carrier versus carrier battles. It deals damage too slowly, and it also doesn't deal any appreciable damage to targets like enemy carriers. Now Harambe is of course retreating as fast as he can, while Noneyadambus is giving chase. Now if he would put more power into his range systems, he could of course deal damage to Harambe's carrier and maybe even take it out while it's retreating. Now Harambe has decided to make a stand, since he has managed to build a few more railguns. Now both carriers are at point blank range. This is now suddenly looking quite bad for Harambe. Even though he had a considerable lead the entire game, he has not constructed anything else in the meantime. Noneyadambus is barely mining anything now, since his support cruisers are here to heal his carrier. And now Harambe is in full retreat, trying to keep his carrier alive. He has pumped up the active armor system, which now means that his carrier is also healing. That has put quite a buffer on the damage that Noneyadambus has to deal to defeat Harambe's carrier. Harambe has constructed more railguns. Now hopefully, if he is able to pump out enough railguns and then just move his carrier in with a full reactive armor system, he should be able to take down Noneyadambus' carrier quite easily. Harambe launches another microwave emitter to deal damage to Noneyadambus' carrier, and this should now be the end for Noneyadambus, even though Harambe did not play as well as he could, and Noneyadambus now dies to concentrated railgun fire. Wow, well, this was a bit of an uneventful game. Both players were passive most of the time, and Harambe could have lost that easily if Noneyadambus would have put some of that power into range systems, and that whole retreat where Harambe was moving away. Noneyadambus could have been dealing constant damage, and maybe could have brought that carrier down. I wouldn't say this was a close game. Harambe was ahead pretty much the entire time, but quite considerable misplays on both sides have made this a bit closer than at the end in the end game. Alright, let's now take a look at game number 2.